Hey guys, Casey Grimes, and I want to tell you about 3 books that I found very interesting concerning World War II. Now, I want to introduce you is a historical nonfiction book entitled The Zookeeper's Wife. Okay, written by Diane Ackerman, and it's about Jan and Antonia Zembinski, and they were Polish Christian zookeepers that somehow thought to use their zoo to provide refuge for those fleeing the Nazi regime. Okay, so in order to find safety, about 300 or possibly even more people used them in their zoo and were saved. They had a way out. And just very interesting details about how they used the zoo animals as code names for the people using the area, staying in the area of the zoo, so that they could provide even more safety from those trying to be secretive and find out what exactly they were doing. But it's really a great book to read. A lot of research was done for this book. The next one is Lilac Girls, written by Martha Hall Kelly, and this provides a story about women. The first one was Caroline Faraday, and she works at the French consulate in New York. Now, her world is changed by Hitler's army when France becomes the next country that Hitler wants to invade. And then across the ocean is Kasia, Kasia. So she's a teenager in Poland, and she finds herself working in the underground movement, the resistance movement there. And then the third character is Herta Oberhauser, who is a young German doctor. And as she begins work where she does, she's in a male-dominated field. She's a woman doctor in the World War II time period, so she's already in a male-dominated field, but she finds herself trapped by the Nazis' secrets and their power and stuff. So their stories intertwine, and they take us across all these continents and countries like New York, Paris, Germany, Poland, and it's just a very, very adventurous tale of these women. So very powerful there. And then the third is All the Light We Cannot See, written by Anthony Doerr. Now, this book is about the main character, Marie Laurie, who is a blind young girl living with her dad in France. She's got cataracts, so she wasn't born blind, but she progressively becomes blind. And so her dad works in a natural history museum there in France, and he builds her this replica of the city where they live so that she could somehow use that to learn how to navigate through the city by herself. And they end up fleeing when she's 12 years old due to the Nazis. And when they flee, they take this jewel from the history museum. Well, as they're hiding, he gets taken captive, the dad does, and this young man who is now working for Hitler's young, he in his work with the technology at the time, he finds out where she is and what they've been doing, but he doesn't turn her in. And I believe that's where the title comes in. That's the light. His kindness that he shows her is the light, but she can't see. So, and she doesn't necessarily know that he is helping her. So the title and the storyline, although it's fiction, it's intertwined, and it becomes a very interesting read. So those are the 3 that I'd like to recommend for students studying the World War II era. It just kind of brings a more personal, intimate, detailed insight into that time period.